All right, the OKC Thunder take game one in a decisive second half. They win the second half 70-40, according to Mike Breed, off the top of my head. They win the game 114-88. What an ass kicking, Kwab. Holy crap.
Second half ass kicking. That's
Second
what it
half ass kicking. A second half
ass
massacre, as I would say.
Second half ass kicking. As the Thunder usually do.
Yes, they've done this all season. Let's get to the box score for the Thunder. SGA had 31-9, J-Dub 19-8-5, Chet chipped in 15-7 for the T-Wolves. Julius at 28-8 did most of his damage in the first half. Anthony Edwards 18-9, and nobody else did shit.
Damn.
Rough second half. Great first half. If you're the Timberwolves, you hit your threes in the first half, and then I don't know what happened, Kwab. They just kept shooting threes, they kept missing threes.
Yeah.
Reminded me of the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Reminded me a little bit of the Boston Celtics.
Fool's gold.
Fool's gold, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Julius, he had 5 threes in the first half. They were getting in the paint, and to be fair to them, the threes they were hitting, they were open threes. It wasn't like they weren't getting good looks. So, to be fair to the Timberwolves, they were hitting the threes early because they were getting good looks. They were getting into the paint, and they were knocking down the three. Julius had a phenomenal first half. And then the second half, man, I don't know if it was the high zone. They kind of stalled out a little bit. They weren't moving the ball. They just looked like a completely different team. They couldn't hit anything. And then on the other end, SGA got going. Some people are gonna credit the referees here. I don't know. But to be fair, I think he did his thing. He was shooting the ball a lot better in the second half. He was getting to his spots. He was getting whatever he wanted. OKC, throughout the game, they did a lot of their damage on the break, getting out and running. In the first half, that's how they stayed in the game, was getting turnovers and converting that into points. And in the second half, they just blew the doors off the T-Wolves. And like you said, we've watched this we've watched this same story all year with the Thunder. First half is close. Second half, not even a competition.
Yeah, I mean, when we did our preview, we talked about how the matchup of Julius Randle was going to be important for the Timberwolves, and he did his job to a certain degree. But as you were talking, you made the point. He hit how many threes in the first half? 5. How many threes did he end up with the game? 5. And that's I mean that. Not that you needed him to do more, but you needed more from other people. You can't. I don't see the Timberwolves being able to win a game if you have Naz Reid going 1 for 11, Dante 3 for 14, Nickel 3 for 11. These are 3 players that need to be impactful for the Timberwolves to win a game, to have a victory. And the game started with Jaden McDaniel scoring. I think he scored
he hit the first 5 points of the game.
And I was like, okay, well, you get an aggressive Jaden McDaniels. That's really good, just because you saw how well he played during the Lakers series. He had career highs throughout that series, just being aggressive.
Yeah.
But he wasn't that this game. I think something that plagued the Timberwolves was that that Shai is gonna try to draw fouls.
Yes.
But
you still gotta play him, dude. And this is me not. I know Thunder fans will be mad at this. This is not me necessarily just kind of saying he's a foul merchant. But if how do you play somebody if you touch him, he's gonna flail and throw up a shot, and they're gonna blow the whistle.
The difference is that it's there are plays that they didn't get called for fouls because they didn't play with your hands down. You just got to show hands. There was a couple plays, and I think that even the broadcast they highlighted it was when he's driving and he's going into you for trying to go for the contact and you show hands, you're not going to get called for the foul.
Right.
And they were able to get stops. He didn't. To start the first half, he wasn't shooting that well. I think he was
he was awful the first half.
Awful, but he was getting to the free throw line because of all the drives, people were some reason you put in your hand in the cookie jar. The moment he feels any type of contact, he's gonna react.
Yeah,
he's gonna react, and that's what's gonna happen. But I mean, to the winning team, the Thunder did what the Thunder usually do, running away with it in the second half, getting stops and fast breaks. When the Timberwolves tried to throw the zone, you saw a lot of the dive down from the short corner for dunks and layups. Yeah. It was working out for them. Again, getting contributions from the bench. You're getting Kenrich Williams, who I don't think played. I don't
He
know how
was
many
on the
minutes.
rotation.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Wasn't in the rotation last series, coming off the bench, giving you 8 points. Caruso being Caruso, Isaiah Joe, like they have so many wings they can throw at you that make a difference,
Yeah.
and they did a good job this game. The one advantage it looked like the Timberwolves had throughout the course of this game was they were getting a lot of second chance opportunities just because
Not
of
in the
their
third.
size. Not,
Zero offensive rebounds in the third.
that's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy. Zero.
No, but they had
Yeah,
12.
that's
The Timberwolves had 12 offensive rebounds in the game, but zero in the third when the game changed.
yeah. That's that. Again, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was zero. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's great. But it felt like that was an advantage they had when the game was starting. They were getting a lot of second chance points or opportunities because they weren't finishing a lot of them also. But yeah, I mean, this game went kind of how I thought it was going to go, just because when with the crowd behind the Thunder, they're able to like make a run. They get stops. If the Timberwolves are turning over the ball, the Thunder are just going to end up running away with it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that it would be closer. I thought it was going to be a close game. You know, the first half, the way the first half went is how I thought the game was going to go.
Okay.
You know, I thought the Timberwolves' game plan going in was, you know, to get into the paint and get open threes, and which they did in the first half. Julius was phenomenal. He was aggressive. He was very decisive with the basketball. Second half, that changed for the whole offense. They let OKC dictate the terms and dictate the pace on the defensive side. It was I think the high zone kind of threw them off in the beginning. You had Julius posting up for like 15 seconds against the zone on the elbow. like what are we doing here? You know, there was like they weren't moving the ball around. There was no, you know, there was just no flashers. There was nothing of that. Even when they were going man, it was the same thing. I mean, they were switching everything anyway because you can do that when you have the perimeter defenders that the OKC Thunder have. There just didn't seem like any course of action in the second half that would lead me to believe that the T-Wolves could like generate some type of offense. And then on the other side of the ball, SGA got going. They had 13 steals, OKC. So they got out and ran and got easy buckets as well. Chet had some nice, you know, dip-ins there. He got a couple dunks where Julius just didn't rotate in time, in the zone, or even man when they were going to that. So I think the T-Wolves in general just kind of imploded under the pressure that OKC put on them, if I'm being honest with you. And what you were saying before, man, like outside of Julius and Anthony Edwards, I mean, I put on the box score as a joke, like no one else did shit, but you know, I'm not lying. Like Mike Conley 2 for 8. DiVincenzo 3 for 14. Naz Reid 1 for 11.
You need more. You need more from the bench. Like I get it with like Mike. Like it's like 50-50, but like from like the Dante, Nickel, and Nas, you need way more from them.
Nikhil Alexander-Walker, NAW baby, your nemesis, 3 for 11.
Took me a second.
But it's just all I mean, they got no help.
They got no help.
And honestly, if we're being real, Julius didn't do anything in the second half.
Nah,
he shot 9 for 13, but he did most of his damage in the first quarter.
True.
20 in the first half.
Yeah.
So I mean, they just fell apart in the second half, and we've watched this. It would be unfair of us to say that like Minnesota lost this and that like they imploded when OKC has been doing this time after time after time throughout the season. This is what they do. This is what OKC does. You know?
Yeah, they do. And like I said, like even Cason Wallace coming off the bench with like 7 assists. He made a lot of like
he was
plays.
phenomenal today. He's such a good. Kiz and I, when we were watching, were like, he's such a good basketball player.
Yeah,
like, he had 3 points, but I mean he had 7 assists. I think. Yeah. I mean, just his impact, moving, like getting steals, playing defense, rebound, everything was just. He's a phenomenal basketball player.
And he got like again, he comes off the bench for them. So he starts some games, but to come off the bench for them, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think obviously for the Timberwolves to have a chance in this series, Anthony Edwards has to play better, but also stay out of foul trouble because he was glued to the bench for too long with the 4 fouls.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like you're playing against a player that knows how to draw fouls, and so I know a lot of people in the comments might be like, "Oh, he's foul baiting." All this stuff, like being able to draw fouls, it's a skill.
Yeah.
But also knowing how to defend somebody that likes to draw fouls, it's like it takes discipline. And there was a bunch of times the Timberwolves weren't disciplined when they were playing defense.
Yeah.
And they have to be disciplined in order for them to like not get in trouble. Like Jaden McDaniels fouling out. That
happen.
sucks. Like it can't happen. Just can't happen.
Yeah, and to SGA's credit too, like he was hitting shots. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like he was just going to the line in the second half. He was hitting his shots. A lot of time when he went to the line, he was and once. Like
Yeah.
he hit his shot and got fouled. And went to
Yeah,
the
you
line.
got that. True.
So
True.
all right, man. Well, the OKC. Actually, you know what? Game 2 prediction. Let's do this. What do you got for game 2? Gut feeling, right now.
I think the Thunder win game 2 also.
Okay.
I feel like the Thunder win game 2 also. What do you think?
I think this. I mean, I think this is a long series, but I think it's one of those series where it's like the home teams dominate.
Yeah.
So I think game 2 is going to go to the Thunder. I think it's going to be a closer game. I don't think they blow them out the way they blew them out today in the second half. I think the T-Wolves will stick around a little more. I don't think you're going to get terrible performances from everybody else aside from Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. I think Nasri's going to play better. That's one of the worst games I think I've ever seen him play, if I'm being honest.
Same.
You know, I expect OKC the same thing. They bring the energy. I think J-Dub could have played better in the first half. He had a better second half. Everybody played better in the second half. So I'd be anxious to see that. But I do think that OKC is probably going to win game 2, heading back to Minnesota, where I think the tide in the series will turn a little bit, where it's like, okay, we have a series now. But I think it's going to take the series going to Minnesota to happen.
Do you think that do you think the Timberwolves end up shooting better overall?
Bro, they went 15 for 51 for 3. You know how insane that is to take 51 threes?
Stop shooting threes. Stop shooting. I'm a sound like the old man.
You said that in the series preview. Like if they start going crazy from 3 and they start settling, they're gonna be in trouble. And you're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Awful.
Good game though, but like the Thunder did what the Thunder have been doing all year. So
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for our game 1 preview. Tomorrow, the New York Knicks.
I really worry about your mental health throughout this series. So it's gonna be.
I might stop by the Garden after work. We'll see.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that. But I'll be back in time for us to record something. They play the Indiana Pacers. We'll be reacting to that. Make sure you watch our series preview for that as well. We dropped that today. And if you didn't watch our series preview for this, go check it out. See if we've been correct so far. It's only one game, so who knows? You can follow the Dime everywhere at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab, a.k.a. Yes. His alter ego is at Kwab, a.k.a. NAW. Does not have an account right now. Maybe later. We'll see you tomorrow. Knicks Pacers, baby. Peace.